This episode of Chump Talk is brought to you by BC Recreational, where quality meets originality. For all your landscape and construction needs, visit bcrecreational.ca. Thank you. That's a banger.
Yep, sure is.
That's a great tune. Welcome to Chump Talk Episode 2, everybody. It is February the 9th, and we are recording to you in Matt's basement.
Yep, you sure are.
Doesn't get much better than this. Someday we'd like to be in the big studio, but
slowly but surely we'll get there.
This is what it is for now, and here we go. Start us off, Matty.
All right, well, I think today we'll begin with the new segment. Do you want to introduce it?
No, you go ahead.
All right, well, we're going to begin a new segment. We're going to ask each other 8 questions. It's going to be really quick. So because of that, we have named it Rapid Fire.
Rapid Fire is right.
Yeah.
And some questions might be answered in 2 seconds, but we're putting a 30-second cap on the questions, and if you can't go over that, so.
And am I right in saying all the questions are from the viewers?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
From
they've been tweeted at us. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, we don't have Twitter yet, but they've been sent to us.
Well, they've been using hashtag Chump Talk, though, from what I've heard.
True.
This is what our producer told us anyway.
True. I got a bunch of MSNs sent to me.
Oh, really?
I
didn't know if that was still a
thing.
Yeah.
No, it's follow me on MSN. Or add me.
Follow you.
I think add me would be the correct.
Add me up.
Okay, let's start it off here. So I'm going to ask Matt a question, then he's going to ask me a question. We have not seen these, and they're not rehearsed, and 30-second cap.
All right.
Matt, this is from Jeff Hates Drywall.
Oh.
Yeah, one of our viewers. Is Vlad Jr. going to start with the Jays this season or no? Should he?
He should, but he won't. He won't because the Jays will want that extra year service time, so he'll play the first month or so in the minors, and as long as he's doing good down there, he'll be up after the first month or so. That's what I think will happen. All right, your turn. True or false? The Pelicans were
Who's this from?
Oh, sorry. My bad. This is from Jeremiah124.
Oh.
Jeremiah124 has to say, this is a true or false.
Okay.
He's asking us.
Okay.
True or false, the Pelicans were told that they would be fined $100K per game if they sat Anthony Davis.
Whew. I kind of feel like that's true. And the reason for this is because he was just Anthony Davis and his agent were just fined, don't know how much money, but
quite a bit.
They were fined quite a bit of money for just requesting a trade out of New Orleans, and the NBA is always down to get some more money out of their pockets because it really seems like the players and the NBA are kind of just against each other.
They send fines out like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. Next question. This one is from Jack11. Rumor is you cheer for 2 NFL teams. Is that even allowed?
I enjoy watching 2 teams play, and I believe it is allowed. This offseason, though, I'm going to have the big reveal of which team I'm going to stick with going forward. It's been hard for me, but I will have the big reveal this summer. All right, so with Milan Lucic having 4 goals in 2019 and Patrick Laine having 1, is Milan the better player?
Absolutely, Milan's a better player. He's faster, he can shoot harder, he's better looking, he's younger. No, absolutely not.
I don't think he's younger.
That's a stupid... No, I was just...
Oh, okay.
That's a stupid stat. Laine is clearly the better player. Laine...
Wow, that's a hot take.
You didn't say who the viewer was that asked that, but I don't think that viewer should ever be allowed on our show again. So please stop asking stupid questions like that.
It was from anonymous, I think.
All right. Now that we got that one out of the way. This is from Lacey4. Lacey4. Matt, who comes out of the lineup for the Leafs with Ennis returning?
I think with the way the GOAT's been playing, and Ennis had been playing really well, I think you got to take out Lindholm. I was deciding between him and Brown in my head, but I don't know. I think Brown just does so many good things, and I know Babcock loves him. I can't see Babs taking him out, so I think Lindholm comes out. All right. Next question here. Who is the youngest ever? Oh, sorry. This is from Ricard14. Who is the youngest ever to score 32,000 points in the NBA? That's a good question, Ricard.
Yeah, good one, Ricard. Could you repeat that?
Who is the youngest ever to score 32,000 points in the NBA? This is taking out some of your time, just so you know.
Kobe Bryant?
No. I think it's LeBron.
LeBron James. I could see that.
Yeah, he answered it for us.
He's
as
the
well.
GOAT. Thank you, Ricard.
Yeah.
He's the GOAT. Next question. This one is from Julia84.
Okay.
Matt, you seem like the type of guy that loves avocados. Is this true?
This is
good
not
question.
true.
Good question.
That
Julia.
is a good question. I have never had avocado in my life.
Wow.
So I can't say that I like it, so I'm going to go with that I don't like it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like the texture wouldn't be there for me.
It is a little gooey.
Yeah. So this question is from Alcoholic49. Bud Light or Budweiser?
Oh, good question, Alcoholic 49. Personally, I'm a Bud Light guy. Bud Heavy's just a little much for me. It sits in the gut a little long. It's definitely not helping me lose weight. Neither is Bud Light, but
and you're no light guy either.
Well, I'm lighter than you, but anyways, yep, Bud Light over.
I'm 4 inches taller too, though.
Bud Light over Bud Heavy anytime.
Okay, all right.
Next question. This is from Fins Up 98. Matt, are the Dolphins a wagon this upcoming season?
No. I mean, the Dolphins are just... I can't even describe how bad they are. I actually seen a prediction for next year, and they had the worst record, I think. So
That can't be true.
I think it is true. So this question is from NBA Fan 11. Where does Kevin Durant sign this offseason?
Ooh, NBA Fan 11. Kevin Durant's going to the Knicks. I've seen too many things about it, and he's always seemed like the type of guy that wants to just go like to a bad franchise and bring them up himself. He doesn't want to be. He's with Steph Curry right now, and that's kind of Steph's kingdom there in Golden State, and he's going to the Knicks.
All right.
This one is from Basketball Player 80.
Ooh.
Matt, if you were a basketball player, what style of play would you have?
I think it'd probably be like a hybrid between Anthony Davis and DeRozan. Like I'm a unit, so like by the net, rebounding and all that, that's my jam, and I have that scoring touch too. And like DeRozan, his dunking, like man, I tell you, I can get up there to dunk.
Okay, we got to cut that one off. It'll go for hours.
Yeah. All right. This one's from Canucks fan 1100. Wow. Okay. If you were to start an NHL franchise right now, do you take Daniel or Henrik Sedin?
Oh. Daniel. Daniel's the goal scorer. Hendrick set him up all the time. I hope I'm right on that.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure.
That's a hot take.
I'm pretty sure that's true. Daniel was the one that scored most goals. I'm always going for a goal scorer over a playmaker. Sorry, Mitch Marner.
Okay.
Last question here. This one is from... what? Oh, I can't even read that. This one is from Jeffrey 32869. Wow.
Wow.
Ottawa is a bottom 5 team in the league right now. How pissed off are the fans going to be if Colorado ends up getting the first overall draft pick because of the Duchesne trade? Thank you, Jeffrey.
Like on a scale of 1 to 10, and 10 being like extremely pissed off, probably a 23.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that will just be brutal. And like either what's it named, Capo Caco or Hughes, like one of those two are going to be really elite. So that'll be a tough one for the Sens.
Chances are they're going to be one of the top 2.
Yeah. All right. So this question is from basketball fan ABCD123. Does OG a new boy stand for Otis George? If no, what does it stand for?
First of all, it's Anunoby.
Background story: he plays for the Raps. In case our viewers didn't know.
Yeah, OG Anunoby's a Raptor. So it's if it.
I
think it actually
does it stand for Otis George. If no, what does it stand for?
It 100% does stand for Otis George. It seems like the most logical thing. And OG and I haven't talked lately, but we used to be close. And I did refer to him as Otis.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And just one more curious question from Clothing Warrior 47: ankle socks or long socks?
Ankle socks all day.
Okay, all right. Well, let's move on here.
Yeah, thank you.
So we're going to get into the projected Jays lineup for this year.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at a depth chart right now. You got in the outfield Pilar, Grichuk, McKinney, and Hernandez, and possibly Dwight Smith Jr. Is that his name, Dwight?
Yeah, Dwight.
All right. Where do you think that the lineup will look like this year for the outfield and the infield?
Well, everyone knows it's going to be a rough year unless they pull a Tampa Bay Rays from last year and just shock the world with some new way of playing the game, and it seems to work, is what the Rays did with starting a bullpen guy to start every game. But yeah, their outfield looks the exact same as last year, how it ended at least. Billy McKinney really impressed me. He has a chance to be a leadoff hitter for the team this year.
He was very quick.
I definitely assume he's going to be given the chance. It's kind of his job to lose, I would say. And yeah, he's a competitive guy. He plays the game right. He runs hard all the time. I do like Billy McKinney. Smoke is my boy over there on first.
Yeah.
He's going to be sweet again. He's just going to keep getting better and better hitting that breaking ball, and that's going to force teams to throw in the fastball, and you know what he does with a fastball. So
yeah,
good night there.
Well, I got a burner question for you at short.
Yeah.
Is Lourdes their starting day shortstop, or is Freddie Galvis? I know Galvis is kind of your boy now.
Yeah, I'm going to draft him. We've already talked about that, but Lourdes Gurriel, I've always seen him as more of a second baseman. Depth chart.
So what does that mean for Devin Travis?
I put him as utility, and if he gets hot, because Devin Travis does get hot sometimes, and if that happens, sure, play him because he can be elite. But just the injuries are absolute killer for Devin Travis. He's never been healthy for a full year, and it's been killer.
Yeah.
Big Kendrys Morales there in the DH spot again.
Yeah. I think, is this his last year?
Yeah, thank goodness.
Contract, I think, yeah. Okay, so I just got a question about the catching.
Yeah.
Right now they got Danny Jansen and Luke Malley.
Yeah.
Are those the two catchers, or do you think they sign a veteran catcher to go along with Danny, or what do you think their catching looks like this year?
No, I don't think they're signing anybody. That they would have just kept Russell Martin if they wanted to go that route, but Danny Jansen's going to be given a shot to be the starter on this team unless something crazy happens in spring. Reese McGuire is an interesting name. He came up at the end of last year. He's definitely a younger player the Jays are looking at for the future too. I can see possibly Danny Jansen and Reese McGuire being two catchers for this team for the next 5 years. Things can definitely happen, but if Danny Jansen continues to swing the bat like he can, and Reese McGuire's a plus defender and he's got a great arm, he can easily catch 1 out of 5 days and still be a good bat.
Yeah.
Is that?
Sorry?
Never mind. Sorry. Keep going.
Okay, so I got 2 more questions for you, then we'll move on.
Yep.
Okay, is Rowdy Tellez on the starting lineup? Or like on the 25-man roster to start the year?
Well, I feel like anybody...
He played pretty good last year. Like, he had, a lot of extra base hits and whatnot. And
Side note, how pumped would you be if your name was Rowdy?
Oh, man. I would be, like... I don't even know. I would be so happy.
There'd just be so many jokes going your way. You'd just be the man. I don't care.
You would be the man.
You don't even need to be good at anything. If your name's Rowdy, you are the man.
People are coming to you for a good time if your name is Rowdy.
Exactly. You're going to be signing autographs. Just Rowdy. They don't care about your last name. Okay. Rowdy, though. Anyways.
Yep.
So I'd have him on the team basically just for his name. Though.
Just for the name? Okay. Yeah. And then what will be the Jays' strongest thing this year, and what will be their weakest thing? Like, what will be their bullpen, their starting pitching, their batting, their home runs? Like, what will be their best, and what will be their worst, do you think?
People might cringe at this because of how last year went, but I think their starting 5, their starting rotation has a chance to be the strongest part of this season. They signed Matt Shoemaker, a wily vet. He can easily slot in the 5 slot.
And that Richard guy, too, possibly.
Yeah, Richard. Don't know too much about him, but Sean Reed-Foley I really liked last year.
Yeah.
And Ryan Barucki looked awesome.
Yeah, he looked unreal.
And if Stroman and Sanchez can return to where they were, remember, Sanchez won
live up to that potential.
Sanchez won the ERA in the East.
Yeah, he was
just 2 years ago. Last year was... We know how his injuries have been, but those two guys are dynamic.
And Stroh's due for a bounce-back year, I think,
absolutely. Weakest part is going to be their offense. They're going to have a tough time scoring runs this year. And
yeah, they're just like, you look at that lineup, and it's just not intimidating at all.
No.
All right, so we're going to move on to the NHL here. We're going to look at the standings here. And so you got Tampa at first. You got the Sens are dead last. Let's look at some bubble teams here and kind of debate whether we think they'll make the playoffs or not. So we look at the East here. The 7, 8, 9 teams are Columbus, Pittsburgh, Carolina, all within a point of each other.
Mm-hmm.
2 of those teams make it. 1 of those teams don't. Which 2 teams make it? Which team doesn't?
Between Columbus, Pittsburgh, Carolina?
Yeah.
Well, if you're hearing if you heard our last podcast, Matt and I definitely have disagreements about Columbus.
Yeah, I think Columbus will make the playoffs.
Not a chance. I'm still saying they're trading.
So you're saying Carolina's going to make it?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Over Columbus?
Okay, I don't see Carolina making it either.
No.
Watch out for Philly, boys.
Yeah, Philly too.
And girls.
And the
and
Sabres,
girls.
like, they started the year off really hot.
Sorry, side note. We respect all women that want to view our podcast.
Yeah.
Because I just said boys there. I should have said boys and girls.
Okay,
My bad. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's move on to the West here. We'll get off that note. So it's kind of the same thing. There are what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams here, all within 4 points of each other. I'm not going to go through them all. I'm just going to look. Let's look at some Canadian teams here. Edmonton's in 11th. They're 2 points out. Vancouver is tied for 8th. What do you think those 2 Canadian teams will do?
Honestly, though, this is worth noting. I know you said we're not going to name the teams, but you got to hear. This is from 8 to 15 and the points. St. Louis 55, Vancouver 55, Colorado 53, Edmonton 53, Chicago 53, Arizona and the Ducks both 51, and Los Angeles is at 50. Literally, there are no teams out of the race in the West right now.
That's true. Like,
I was listening to Brian Burke on Hockey
Central. People shit on the Kings because they're in last.
Yeah, but the Ducks are the worst team.
Yeah.
But anyways, I was listening to Hockey Central at noon, and somebody referred to this as a race, and Brian Burke, he's pretty funny to listen to. He said, This is more of a turtle derby.
No kidding.
And it is. Nobody's trying to win. All these teams are right around 500.
Yeah.
St. Louis is the only team over 500 from 8 to 15. Not even the 9th team is over 500. It's so much different than the East. All these teams are trying to go for draft picks, but now they all see openings too. So it's going to be an exciting finish.
Geez, and breaking news, the Hawks are in a 6-game win streak.
Yeah.
Haven't heard anything about that.
Hawks are hot.
All right, so yeah,
Patty Kane.
You just kind of touched about the Ducks there.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're kind of into the Ducks because you have Gibson in fantasy.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen to the Ducks? Do you think Carlisle is the head coach much longer, or what do you think is going to happen with that team just in general? Or do you think they're going to trade some pieces? Or
That's an absolute disaster in Anaheim right now.
Gong show.
They've lost 18 of their last 20 games. That is
2 wins in the last 52 days.
Insane.
Yeah.
That is absolutely insane.
Absolutely.
And they're not even close. The Leafs blew them out the other night. Just last night, Ottawa beat them 4-0. Or 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
And Ottawa is the second worst team in the league in front of Anaheim, I'd say.
Yeah.
And just killed. These games aren't even close.
And right now they're losing to Philly 5-2.
You're right, I have John Gibson in fantasy. That was one of the best moves I could make. It's sucking now. It was terrible now. He started good at the start of the year. Definitely should have sold high on him. If there's any fantasy players out there listening to this, send offers my way. But yeah, he's still leading the league in saves because they just get peppered all night. And man, I feel bad for Gibson because he is an elite goalie.
Yeah, and that's like an Edmonton situation here. They have the best player in the league. Their GM who's not there anymore, has just kind of shut on that team and not really left McDavid with anybody. So we look at their lineup here. First line, Draisaitl, McDavid, Ratty. Like, they really just, like, their wingers on this team are hideous. Like, Lucic, Chiasson's on their second line.
What did you just say?
Doesn't matter. Chiasson, I don't know.
He just pronounced Chasen? Chiasson. It is 100% Chasen. Alex Chasen. He just pronounced it Chiasson.
They have a guy named Kara on their third line. Never heard
What's
of him.
his first name?
Juhar.
That's not bad, actually.
No,
I think
not
it's
bad.
pronounced Jujar.
Yeah, but anyways, like, I cannot believe the wingers this team has gone through for McDavid.
Crazy.
Like, what a gong show. So, like, what do you think Edmonton's situation is going to look like here? Do you think they're going to make any moves at the deadline to get a winger, or do you think they're just going to ride it out with what they got and readdress in the offseason?
Forget the dude's name, but whoever their president is there said they're not going to sell their first-round draft picks or young players for help at the deadline, and that's a definitely smart move because you've seen how that's worked out. But they should, if there's a little minor deal that they can do for depth, they should definitely be doing that. Ty Ratty playing with Connor McDavid is not right.
No,
that guy has barely
no.
been. That guy hasn't even stayed in the league for more than a year yet in his whole life. And how old is he? I don't know. Can you find that out?
Yeah, I'm gonna say he's 24. That's my guess. What's
Yeah.
your guess here? What's your hot take?
I think he's 25.5. But anyways, the Ty Ratty can't be playing with Connor McDavid. That's ridiculous.
No, he's 26.
26, that's what I said.
Yeah. Well,
25 and a half and a bit.
Oh, okay, whatever. So that's like we're gonna look at the TSN trade bait here. Which guys do you think that are gonna go here? Let's look at the top 5: Panarin, Duchesne, Simmons, the Jets' first rounder, and Mark Stone.
I thought Panarin wasn't getting traded.
Okay, you know what?
Number
We're not
one?
going to get into this right now, all right? We got a packed show today.
True. It is packed. Hey, we're bringing
Maybe
you guys
we'll get
content.
into it, yeah.
We're bringing you guys content.
Quality
here.
content,
Quality
too.
content.
Okay, Panarin.
What
Traded or staying?
Absolutely traded.
Okay, Duchesne.
Up in the air about that one.
Yeah, I think the Sens are trying to sign him, but
Yeah.
I don't know. They're
Apparently
going to take a while to rebuild.
Apparently he's offered $8 million for 8 years, which is pretty
By the Sens.
lucrative.
Yeah, I think that's more than what Duchesne is worth.
Yeah.
Like 8 years. I mean, I'm not saying like I think the $8 million per year isn't too bad.
The term's
but
a lot.
over 8 years is
Term's
kind of
a
a
lot.
bit for me.
Next.
Simmons traded or I
Yeah.
guess signed. That's what's going to happen
Yeah.
according to Philly. He's going to be traded or signed.
I'd say gone. I was reading something they're not too
Even
close.
with their hot streak?
Yeah, I was reading something they're not too close on contract talks, and it'd be stupid for Philly not trade him then.
And then the Jets, one of the biggest Stanley Cup contenders. Do you see them trading that first round pick to improve that roster?
Absolutely, the Jets are so close to being amazing that first round pick is going to be a high 20s anyways, and
Yeah.
it's definitely going to be gone. I'm just scared.
Yeah, it's true. It's
I'm
basically a
scared.
second rounder at that point, especially because this year's a weak draft year, apparently.
I'm scared to see who the Jets are going to pick up.
I think the Jets or the Leafs will win the Cup. That's my hot take. I think we've said that before. But
Yeah, go Leafs.
And then back to the shitting Senators. Mark Stone, traded or signed?
I think
Or
we should.
what's gonna
I
happen?
think this would be a good time to introduce the word "shitting" to the pod.
Okay, well, could you give the
'Cause
backstory?
You just brought up the word "shitting," and some viewers out there might just be like, "Why did he just say shitting? What does shitting mean?"
Yeah,
But hey, I'm here to explain it.
it's part of the vocabulary on the show.
So I work at a company in Wellesley Home Hardware, Home Building Center is the more correct
Ooh.
term. He doesn't really want to be dropping F-bombs. We don't really want to be
No.
dropping F-bombs on this show.
No.
So, hey, you think...
Brady does
you-
piss me off sometimes,
you-
though, so it could happen.
You think, hey, I can't say an F word right now. I'm trying to be respectful. What's a word I could sub in there? Maybe shittin'. So, for example, Matt, I shittin' hate you.
Yeah, that's a great example
So
of it.
yeah, so that there might be
Hate's
sweaters.
a strong word, though.
There might be sweaters coming someday, like
Yeah.
the shittin' series. We'll
Yeah,
call
give
it.
us feedback. If you buy a sweater that had the word shitting on it, let us know, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
But back to the show here.
Okay.
So the next part, I don't know why, but we're going to talk about the Habs just briefly.
Ugh.
That's like you look at their lines here. In my opinion, if I were to see this lineup at the start of the season, I'd been like, wow, they're
Dead
going to
last.
competing for that lottery pick.
Yeah.
But like they are right in the playoffs, and I mean they're playing the Leafs tonight. They're 1 point behind. The winner of that game would have home ice advantage if the playoffs started tomorrow. So I mean,
Oh my.
and like you look at the Leafs record, and they're having like a stellar year. So
Yeah.
like the Habs are having a hell of a year as well. So what's your take on the Habs this year?
Well, going into an absolute banger of a game, which we'll be for sure tuning into tonight against the Leafs. I'm like, we hate the Habs. Like it's a rivalry. We're Leaf fans. If you're a Leaf fan, you hate the Habs. If you're a Habs fan, you hate the Leafs. That's just how it works. We hate the Habs.
Yeah.
But man, great job by Mark Bergeron. Bergevin.
Wow. And just so you viewers know, Brady struggles with like players' names sometimes. Just so you're aware, I'll probably have to correct him.
Bergevin. I don't actually.
Bergevin.
I don't think so.
Okay, well,
Let's call him Burger.
okay,
Let's
yeah.
call him Burger.
okay, Burger.
Burger did an outstanding job. Thomas
Yeah.
Tatar trade. So listen to this trade. Thomas Tatar for Pacioretty straight up. Would you do that right now? If you're trading Tatar back to Vegas, would you do it right now for Pacioretty?
I would want to tar
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and then in there throw a second round pick
Yeah.
and Nick Suzuki, who's a promising rookie.
Yeah.
And that's the return they got for Pacioretty. That's a great trade. Tatar's
kidding.
lighting it up this year. I think Tatar might be playing a little above himself right now, but even so, that's an
Yeah.
outstanding trade.
And Patches is just having a brutal year too.
And Max Domi's looking really good.
Yeah,
for them.
that trade has
working out.
really worked out for them too. So we're gonna rank the Canadian teams here actually.
on
From
odd-
1 to 7.
like odds to win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, just
Like,
well,
who
obviously
is it?
we know which teams won't, but
Yeah.
I'll do my rankings first. So my number one, I will have Winnipeg over Toronto,
Ooh,
just because I think
that's
they're
gonna piss off some listeners.
Yeah, I know. I just think they're a little bit more established, and I mean I think the Leafs are right there with them, but right now Winnipeg's my one, Toronto's my two. I mean I want to like Montreal probably should be my three, but I don't know. Like I don't know who else you'd have there, like Vancouver or Edmonton. So I think.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's tough. I guess the Habs will be my third. I'm gonna go. I freaking hate Edmonton's lines.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Vancouver's 4. Wait, no, I totally forgot about Calgary. Okay, Calgary's 3. Edmonton's 4.
I was gonna let
Wow,
you get
this
to
is-
the. I was gonna let you get to the end there because I
Yeah,
caught
wow.
on to that. Wow, that's embarrassing.
Okay, and then Edmonton's 5.
Yep.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then my last will be Ottawa, obviously.
Yeah.
So, what are your 1 to 7?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I have to put Winnipeg ahead of Toronto. Calgary and Toronto.
I believe I just got ripped apart for that.
Well, from our viewers, I agreed with you, but our viewers are gonna rip us apart,
Okay.
which is fair.
Yeah.
You know what?
We can take it.
We can take it. You
Do
said
you even know
once-
where Winnipeg is?
Isn't it in California?
Yep. Yeah.
No, Winnipeg 1, Calgary, Toronto's a toss-up. I'm going to put...
I mean, Calgary's got more points than both Winnipeg and Toronto.
True,
didn't
but
even
I don't know
realize
if I'd see it coming. But
no, I just don't think they have the goaltending.
Winnipeg, Toronto, Calgary, Montreal, as shitty as that is to say.
Yeah,
And then Edmonton, because I can see Edmonton adding a little bit, and they still have the best player in the world.
that's true.
So Vancouver's not doing anything, so then Vancouver...
No, they've just been right around there the whole season somehow.
Vancouver and obviously
Good goaltending.
the basement-dwelling Senators last.
Yeah. All right, so we'll move on to the Leafs here. What do you have to say about the Leafs in the recent week here?
Yeah, Jake Muzzin trade's looking really good. He had that... I don't know if we... Did we, in our last pod, talk about the game where he had the big hit on Corey Perry against Anaheim and then scored that game?
I don't believe we
I don't
did.
think
We
we
might
did.
have brought it up briefly, but
Yeah, but
yeah,
that,
I think Muzzin has looked incredible in the Leaf uniform, and he's been doing everything right, and he just gets better and better every game, I think.
that's... If you were watching the game against Anaheim that night, Muzzin lays out Corey Perry along the boards, and the ACC has been criticized a lot of people as not a great atmosphere to watch a game in, and I
Yeah.
was at a game this year and definitely agree with that. There's way too many people that don't actually care about hockey in there because the tickets are
agree.
overpriced for the real hockey fans.
Yeah.
That's another subject. But that ACC was loud when Muzzin laid that check, and on the radio they were saying that those hits happen all the time in the West, and they do. If you watch a Western Conference game, there's big hits like that all the time.
Yeah.
Just in Toronto, we're not used to seeing that. There's nobody other than Nazem Kadri the odd time that lays a big check, and then Muzzin does that. Stupid Nick Ritchie comes up and gives him a cross check in the pants. Like, it didn't even
Yeah.
look like it hurt Muzzin.
Yeah.
Stupid penalty. Goes to the box. 2 seconds left. Muzzin. Big 1T from my boy Gardner. Boom.
Boom. Your boy Gardner, right?
My boy Gardner.
That could be controversial in this episode, too.
They're gonna sign him.
Well, you never know. Okay, well, we're going to move on to... When things bother us, we're going to do a little segment called Fire Me Up.
Yeah.
So basically, it's just going to be a quick rant, no longer than a minute, 30 to 60 seconds. So my rant today is going to be on the Arizona GM, John Chayka. We've debated the last name a bit on how to pronounce
Yeah.
it, but I think we're going to go with Chayka, right?
Yeah, we don't. Did you say what this little thing is called? Like, it's firing you up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's pissing us off.
Right.
Yeah.
So Matt is fired up
I'm
about
fired
something.
up. I'm fired up about the Arizona GM. I cannot believe the Dylan Strome trade. He has 27 points in 31 games for Chicago. He is a former 3rd overall pick, and he had played a total of 41 games with Arizona in the NHL before they traded him. Yeah, he had 15 points, but he's still a young guy. He's 21 years old, and now he's played for Chicago for 31 games, 27 points. And it's not like he hasn't produced in the majors either. Like, he played in the AHL, which is still, you're playing against grown men. He had 53 points in 50 games. Like, it's not like this guy turned pro and he went to shit. Like, he's been a great player, and he's struggled in the NHL with Arizona, but that was 40 games. Like, 40 games over the course of a career is honestly nothing. So I just think that trade is inexcusable, really. And Perlini too. I think he's a good player too. I know they got Schmaltz is a good player. I think he's, I don't know, an average second line player, a good third line player, but I think Strome still has the potential to be a number one center. So that's my rant of the day.
That's fair enough. Those are all pretty valid points. I didn't mind the trade when I first saw it because Nick Schmaltz is a good player, but right when I hear you say those things, you might be selling a little early on Dylan Strome because the potential he has, and he's shown that. I think he's playing with Patty Kane now and just lighting it up.
Yeah,
Anyways, something that has been firing me up lately is hearing all I got buddies. I'm on the old Twitter the odd time looking at it, and people are pissed off at William Nylander and saying he's a terrible player and he should be traded right away and his contract sucks and he's brutal and he should be on the fourth line, he should be healthy scratch, he should be in the minors, he sucks. And I've heard enough of that. I'm so sick of people hating on William Nylander. It's terrible.
It's firing you up.
It is firing me up. So first of all, the guy is handsome. He is a good-looking guy.
This podcast took a turn for the worse.
Okay, I'm just going to say it how it is. Girls want him. Dudes want to look like him.
Is that why you're growing out your hair?
Do I kind of look like Nylander?
No.
Hey, I'm fired up, so let me talk.
Okay, sorry.
He's a handsome dude, so leave him alone just for that fact, first of all. But now to get into a little bit of hockey. His zone entry is, I think, the best in the Leafs, could be one of the best in the league. People say he doesn't take it to the net hard enough, and sure, when there's times where when he can bull past a D and take it to the net, he does that, and he's got an exceptional shot from the outside like that. But there are so many times where guys try to take it to the net and just get it poked away from a big, tall defenseman that's right up close to them. William Nylander always goes in. He'll stop on the sideboards. Next time you're watching a Leaf game and William Nylander goes in the zone, watch what he does. He's going to go in. He's going to get to the hash marks. He's going to throw on the brakes, and then there's going to be somebody trailing, either the third F3 coming in or one of the D trailing the play. He's going to give it to them, and there's going to be a good scoring chance. That happens all the time. He gets way too much criticism. He's set up Kadri like 4 times backdoor, and Kadri hasn't been able to score. Last game, he got absolutely robbed, and Kadri hit some crossbars, had some bad luck, but William Nylander's going to come. People say Matthews and Marner on a whole different planet than Nylander. That is not true. I'm definitely agreeing Nylander's the third best in that group, but he is not far behind Marner. If you look at clips from last year on the power play, look who it is passing all those pucks over to Matthews like Marner was at the start of the year, which, by the way, isn't working right now. But anyways, Nylander can make that pass just as good as Marner. Plus, he's got a way better shot than Marner. He can rip it. He can rip a shot from that area, and it's almost as good as Matthews. He can score from far out, which he showed on John Gibson last game against the Ducks, and he's going to show tonight against the Montreal Canadiens. Watch for that, everybody. But William Nylander's taking way too much heat. He's going to score lots of goals. His points are down right now. That's fine. He missed a big chunk of the year, which sucked. But William Nylander, you guys are going to look at that contract in 2 years, when he's making 6.9 in 2 years, when he's going to be putting up 80 points a year. You're gonna regret everything you said about hating on William Nylander, because that contract's gonna look unreal.
Yeah.
So there's my rant. If you are fired up. If you want to get me heated, tell me you hate William Nylander, and we'll go at it.
All right, so
I've been known to smash a couple faces in my day.
Okay. Well, that's the first lie on the show, everybody.
Yeah, that is a bit.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the Raps. Just a quick minute or two on the Raps here. The trade deadline passed. They got Marc Gasol from Memphis. Mm-hmm. They traded JV, CJ, and was it
DeLon Wright?
DeLon Wright. Yeah. So you look at their roster now.
And a second-round pick.
And a second-round pick, yeah. So you look at their roster now. I'm just going to say the guys that are, like, proving themselves as NBA players. So you got OG, Marc Gasol, Danny Green, Serge Ibaka, Norman, Lowry, Kawhi, Siakam, and Van Fleet. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players that have proven themselves as NBA players. So I think going to the playoffs, because I think in the regular season you kind of use 10 to 12 players a game kind of thing on average, but obviously in the playoffs you cut down on that. So I like that roster going into the playoffs, and they could still pick up some of those bio players. So what's your take on the Raps and the deadline here?
Yeah, I don't understand enough about that whole buyout situation, how it works.
I think it's kind of complicated.
But they do need to pick up a couple guys, or one guy, maybe just one guy. I know their 3-point shooting has been less than ideal lately.
And CJ didn't really provide that this year.
So get rid of him.
Yeah, and he's gone.
CJ's PJ's, see ya.
Yep.
But anyways, Yeah, I like it. I like the roster. We talked about Marcus Sol and whether it'd be a good fit. I haven't seen him play too much.
He played literally.
We're more
in
hockey
Memphis.
guys.
Who hears anything about Memphis ever?
Exactly. Yeah. So hey, I like it. I'll watch him next game and then be able to give you an even better take. But
yep. All right, so we're going to finish off the pod with some hot takes here.
Hot takes.
So these are games that are going to happen today that haven't taken place yet. Leafs and Habs.